check out our sponsor, ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com, the leading innovator in water filtration systems. Get all of your water filters at ProPureUSA.com. Click the link below right now. Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Greene. You're tuning into AMTV, Alternative Media Television. So we had a massive stimulus announced in Europe, courtesy of Mario Drag Queen. A massive quantitative easing program into infinity. And that's not an exaggeration. It is open-ended, according to Mario Drag Queen. They're just going to buy their own shit. They're going to buy their own bonds into infinity. Forever. They're going to sell out Europeans and their children and their children's children, just like they've done here in the United States of America, and just watch all of these economies implode long term for a little short-term fakery, for a little short-term gains. So the same billionaires in Davos right now that have helped to engineer quantitative easing to infinity to bail out the same institutions and banks that made them rich, that never take a loss, by the way, because again, the financial markets aren't allowed to move to the negative anymore. They can only have consistent growth. They can only move in a straight line, parabolically. The markets, not just here in the United States, but around the world, can never go down, according to these whores. And that's exactly what Mario Drag Queen just showed us. Just like whore Janet Yellen, which really are the prostitutes of the New World Order, sucking off these elite in Davos. Again, this has nothing to do with the benefit of the people. Again, what's so bad with deflation? You know, is any European going to complain that the prices have declined? That the milk and eggs that they buy at the store aren't as expensive? That oil prices are lower? Of course not. I mean, if prices are dropping, that's actually a good thing for Europeans. That's actually a good thing for Americans. But it's a bad thing for the central banks because, again, they're super leveraged. They've bought their own debt. We have an $18 trillion plus national debt here in the United States. We have over $4.5 trillion on the Federal Reserve's balance sheet. They've got to roll this over into infinity. It's exactly why they need 0% interest rates. It's exactly why the deposit rate in Europe is negative, because they need to continue the Ponzi scheme. I mean, this is Bernie Madoff times a gazillion. It's absolutely insane. And again, it's not going to end well. It's going to end in war. It's going to end in utter catastrophe for the global economy. It's going to crash global financial markets at some point, and it's going to make 2008 look like a church picnic. Note, and I've spoken about this many times, that the Swiss bank surprised and depegged itself from the euro. The same thing's going to happen to the US dollar, where we're going to wake up, average Americans are going to wake up, and we're going to find that the Chinese have moved from a managed float to the dollar to a free float. And all of a sudden, our dollars here in the United States in our pocket will be burning a hole in our wallet. We're going to have 30% depreciation, 50% depreciation, maybe 100% depreciation overnight because of these policies, because of the QE into infinity. I mean, it's literally open-ended. I think they're buying some $70 billion a month into infinity, at least they say, until I believe the September of 2016. But of course, we know they're going to extend it. It's all about extending and pretending. Just like they're going to have QE4 here in the United States. I would argue they already had it. And we could also argue that QE in Europe is QE4 because it's riding the coattails of the other stimulative policies and shenanigans that we've had here in the United States. So this is extremely drastic. And all we got for $1 trillion plus in new stimulus, $1 trillion, is 100 points up on the Dow. That's it, because it's already baked into the pie. Wall Street's already expecting it. It's already built in to the scam. Again, Bernie Madoff is in federal pound-me-in-the-ass prison, and all these bankers and international elite that have orchestrated the greatest crimes in world history just hang out at $40,000 a ticket. That's how much it costs to attend this event, to just be a ticket holder in Davos. 40 grand for a couple days, so they can fight climate change as they're flying their private jets into Davos. I mean, it's the biggest scam that we've ever seen in the history of the world. And again, it's the people that are going to pay the price. Commodities are collapsing. Oil is collapsing. We still have deflation, even though there's been quantitative easing to infinity. And as I just pointed out, deflation isn't necessarily a bad thing for the people. It just means everything's cheaper for you and your family. It means you eat a little bit easier. It means you fill up your gas tank a little bit easier. But you see, the elite can't have it because it doesn't allow them to continue this debt Ponzi scheme into infinity. It's a joke. I mean, it's laughable. If any of you have actually studied economics or finance like I have, there are no fundamentals to the market anymore. There are no fundamentals. You don't look at balance sheets. You don't look at cash flow statements. You just look to the Federal Reserve and see what whore policies they're instituting. You just look at the ECB directly and Mario Drag Queen, and you just look to see who he's blowing at that given moment. And that tells you what the market's going to do. So as long as Mario Drag Queen and Janet Yellen, I can barely pronounce her name, are sucking off the New World Order, you're going to have this fakery. You're going to have these shenanigans. You can be assured of more conflict. You can be assured of a bigger war than what we experienced during World War II. You can be assured of economic collapse. It is so bad. It is so catastrophic. And these people's party and think that things are okay when they're not. I'm Christopher Greene. Get this video out everywhere. Make it viral. Hard hitting it in your face. And click the link below to support our sponsor.